Seismic Games originally approached us to help work on the sound design for Blade Runner Revelations, the new Blade Runner VR game for Google Daydream. They asked us to handle the sound design, technical audio integration using Wise, and also do voiceover implementation, music implementation, and then overall mixing for the project. Working on such an iconic franchise was obviously a lot of fun for us. We received some of the original stems from the Blade Runner films and were able to use those sounds, so it was great working with some of that original content, and then obviously recreating things for the world in a video game, and specifically in VR.
So early on we were interested in exploring whether we were going to go more digital and synthy and sci-fi, or a little bit more analog. And Seismic, we had kind of worked with them and we determined that this was going to be a little bit more of an homage to the first film, which is a little bit more analog, a little bit more grounded in reality. It was a matter of just kind of exploring both ends, and then ended up going with the more analog route. With the UI, we wanted to really keep sort of the same soundscape, so rather than, the UI comes up and it's a completely different feel and texture, we really wanted it to be all homogeneous in a way, so we really worked to try and make sure that the UI and all the interactions were all part of the same experience.
Doing sound design for a VR project, I think, is a lot more fun just because you get to break apart really small pieces of sound. You have a lot of small one-channel sources of audio that are just all around you. It's more like reality, where you're looking at places fixed in space and then you get to experience that specific location. To make some of the sounds, we got to use a tool called Varantic, which does basically iterations of sounds based on a smaller pool. So we had like 3 or 4 footsteps, and then we were able to take the tapping part and the scuffing part of a footstep, break them apart, and make 20 or 30 of them out of that. And it really helped take this small pool of sounds that we had for the game and break those out into a lot of iterations and choose the best and really get articulate with which ones we wanted in the game. In Blade Runner Revelations, we have a series of spinner sequences where you get to fly through the city. It was really fun to pick apart all the scenes in the old Blade Runner movie where they're showing the details of the cockpit of the spinner and traveling through town, listening through all the advertisements, and then trying to simulate that experience into VR. Getting to attach all of these really cool advertising sounds to different buildings and billboards definitely helps with the immersion.
In Blade Runner, you are using a node-based system to move around, which gives an interesting take on how you can do sound, because each node can essentially be a unique sound spot. So standing at one node, you might hear something really specific over in that corner, but when you move to the next corner, you might not want to hear it. We can do these very specific RTPCs where we turn things on and we turn things off based on the node. Specifically, Chinatown had one where you might not want to hear the Krishna guys or the club that's going on or the chef cooking something, but maybe one node you want to hear them all. That's one way we'd be able to direct the player with sound.
It was really great working with the team at Seismic. Everyone over there is extremely talented and so passionate about the Blade Runner universe, so getting to work with them to help bring this to life was really a pleasure.